Chapter 14. Refined. In the cave, Xiao Yan took out the fighting monarch's body, the white jade bottle that contained the soul, and the monster core of a late 5-star fighting monarch devil beast. A 5-star fighting monarch's devil beast monster core was not the best. Of course, it wasn't the worst either. According to Xiao Yan's thoughts, the highest grade of the puppet he refined was a fighting monarch. It wouldn't be of much help to him now or in the future. He would have to throw it away sooner or later. He didn't need to use the best monster core. Of course, even if he didn't use it in the future, he couldn't make do with it. After all, this thing could sometimes save people's lives. Of course, Xiao Yan couldn't joke around with his own life. I wonder if refining a Heaven Fate puppet with a fighting monarch level puppet is useful or not. Let's give it a try. With a light sigh, Xiao Yan flicked his left hand. The glazed monarch flame wrapped around the fighting monarch's body. After finishing this step, Xiao Yan closed his eyes. Refining the fighting monarch's body alone took several days. During this period of time, he could only cultivate in peace. Outside the cave, day and night alternated repeatedly. However, Xiao Yan did not take a step out of the cave from the beginning until the end. In front of him, in the midst of the colorful flames, a thin and withered corpse that was beyond recognition lay within. It was quietly burned by the flames. Unknowingly, 5 days had passed. When the 6th day arrived, the flames that had been refining the fighting monarch's body in the cave had yet to extinguish. However, the dried corpse within the flames had already shrunk by more than half. At a certain moment, Xiao Yan's tightly shut eyes slowly opened. 2 faint golden dragon flames streaked across his eyes like meteors. Xiao Yan relaxed his body and said with a smile, "I never thought that I would be able to reach the intermediate 6-star realm in these few days. Furthermore, I can vaguely sense the barrier of the late 6-star realm." After feeling the origin monarch chi surging and flowing like river water in his body for a moment, Xiao Yan could not help but laugh. In less than 3 months, he had advanced from a 2-star Do sovereign to the intermediate stage of 6 stars. He was already very satisfied. Strength. Xiao Yan let out a light breath and looked outside the cave. Looking at the boundless forest, he clenched his fists tightly. "I will definitely return to the academy." At this moment, a lot of determination appeared on his angular and slightly thin face. The body has also been refined. Xiao Yan turned his head. Looking at the gradually extinguishing 7-colored flame, he beckoned with his hand. The flame turned into a stream of light and entered Xiao Yan's body. After that, the completed body also appeared. At this moment, the body was extremely pale. There was no trace of blood, only the head still retained its original appearance. Regarding this, Xiao Yan had long become accustomed to it. He clenched his right hand into a fist and quickly punched his chest and head. 2 fist-sized holes were created. Not a single drop of blood flowed out of the holes. Xiao Yan moved his hand. A faintly red monster core fell into the hole in front of his chest, and then Xiao Yan took out the white jade bottle. He removed the origin monarch key that sealed the mouth of the bottle. Just as he removed the origin monarch key, an extremely illusory soul floated out. Trying to escape, Xiao Yan, who had covered the entire cave with his soul energy, instantly discovered this soul. He let out a cold laugh, and a flame shot out from his hand. It turned into a fire net, and amidst the terrified screams of the soul, the fire net tightly wrapped around it. Xiao Yan waved his hand, and the fire net wrapped around his soul and fell into the hole on his head. After doing all of this, Xiao Yan used the alien flame to train for a few more days, until his originally small body once again returned to its robust appearance at the beginning. 6 days passed in the blink of an eye. When Xiao Yan opened his eyes again, his body, which was lying quietly on the ground, moved. Then, he slowly opened his golden eyes. After a pause, his body suddenly jumped. It stood firmly in front of Xiao Yan and didn't move at all. Xiao Yan looked at this puppet. Its appearance was similar to the original one. Its eyes were empty, and its strong body seemed to be filled with strength. It has the strength of a late 6-star expert. Not bad. This puppet can be considered a pretty good one. Xiao Yan touched the sturdy muscles of the puppet and left his soul mark on it. He smiled and said, "Your name is Di." The puppet nodded with an indifferent expression. Its voice was shaky as it said, "Di." "Greetings, master." Xiao Yan nodded his head in satisfaction and kept the storage ring. Feeling the surging origin monarch chi in his body, an excited expression emerged on his face. He said softly, "The matter of the puppet has been resolved. Now, I can try to break through to the late 6-star realm." Taking a deep breath, Xiao Yan glanced at the hole that was blocked by the huge rock. After thinking for a moment, he moved the huge rock away. Feeling the flow of the origin monarch ki become smoother, Xiao Yan flicked his finger. Di stood firmly at the entrance of the cave. His emotionless eyes stared outside without blinking. After giving the order to carefully guard the cave, Xiao Yan sat down cross-legged. He slowly closed his eyes and his mind moved. He activated the origin monarch ki in his body and circulated it rapidly in his meridians. At the same time, it was as if the origin monarch ki in the cave had been summoned. It slowly surged toward Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's body was emitting a pink flame. Although the origin monarch ki was much less after the pink flame, however, it was also much purer. The pores on Xiao Yan's skin were wide open as he greedily absorbed the pure origin monarch ki. Under Xiao Yan's control, the origin monarch ki that entered his body circulated through all the meridians in his body and into the origin monarch crystal in his dantian. The refined origin monarch ki also circulated along his meridians, strengthening his bones and cells. This absorption process was a perfect cycle. Just as Xiao Yan felt that he was about to break through the barrier of late 6th star, he suddenly heard a furious roar from outside. In the next moment, Di was violently sent flying into the cave, causing the rocks in the cave to fall. Roar! Another furious roar was heard. A huge white ape with 4 huge hands, which was filled with a bloodthirsty red color, walked towards the cave while roaring. Chapter end.